Here is the tale of the tape, Jeffrey, and Paul Briggs, a crucial year for his career.
Definitely so. Look, he just went overseas and, I don't know, had he dug that little deeper, had he believed in himself a little more, we would have had the light heavyweight champion of the world here tonight. You know, whether or not he was fighting, but he would have been here as a world champion. I think he's learned a lot from that. Paul Briggs was up recently sparring with Victor Roganoff, and without his help, we would have had no preparation for our fight in America. And look, Paul knows what he has to do now, and I'm looking forward to him taking that next step now and becoming an even better fighter.
Let's go up to our ring announcer, Rick Powell.
The Bad Blood Showdown now brings you a light heavyweight bout scheduled for 12 by 3-minute rounds. Introducing out of our red corner is a fighter who lives and trains in Germantown in Johannesburg, South Africa. He journeys down under tonight to take on a very formidable opponent. Tonight he touches the scales at 77.25 kilograms, trained by Harold Volbrecht, and with a record of 17 fights, 12 wins, 7 knockouts on his cards. Would you please make welcome South Africa's very own natural, Rupert Van Aswegen. In the blue corner, one of Australia's finest fighters. Tonight he weighs in at 79.35 kilograms, a resident of Sydney and trained by the legendary Johnny Lewis. His record shows us 28 bouts for 25 wins, recording an amazing 18 knockouts. Let's welcome the fighting spirit of Sydney. He is Paul the Hurricane Briggs. Your referee for this bout, Brian McMahon, Gary Dean, Sis Perkins, Trevor Christian. Your judges ringside.
Well, Paul Briggs said that 2007 was a very important time in his career. It'll be interesting to see his attitude as he shapes up to fight Rupert Van Aswegen.
Johnny Lewis told me to say thank you to Gosford City Suzuki for their sponsorship over the years, and I'm sure they're appreciating having Johnny Lewis on board with them. Gosford City Suzuki.
Round one.
Out comes Paul Briggs.
Here we go, round one. Briggs in the black, Aswegen in the blue. And of course, Jeff, you recently saw Briggs in against your fighter.
Yeah, without Paul Briggs and Victor Roganoff's preparation would have been, cut in thirds, and we'd like to thank Paul for what he done for Victor Roganoff. And yeah, we had some great sparring. Paul was a very, very valuable, help for us before our last fight in America, and we can't thank him enough for it. It's not an easy job sparring Victor Roganoff, let me tell you that, mate. When we call you up next week, mate, you'll know for yourself, champ.
I'd do it for nothing, mate.
Oh, I'm sure you're going to. Just bring your mouth guard, champ.
Yeah. Oh, big right hand there from Briggs, right up the middle.
And I'll tell you what, it landed on the glove and it still shook up his opponent. There's a little bit of talk also now about Paul Briggs going to challenge Danny Green. That could be down the track. Well, they're both in the light heavyweight division. They're both going for the same direction. They both want Clinton Woods, so, maybe a fight would be great.
Great
matchup.
Nice quick jab there from the South African. Hooking well too. The left hand. Aswegen 12 wins, 4 losses, 7 of his 12 victories inside the distance.
Hussein Hussein's back with us. Join us. Hussey, what would you think a fight with Paul Briggs and Danny Green would be like? Who would you tip?
Oh, mate, it'll be an awesome fight, that's for sure. I mean, they both got the skills to beat each other, so that'll be one hell of an Australian matchup.
Well, if I gave you $1, I know you're not allowed to bet, but if you did have a bet, who would it be on?
Well, I'll tip Greenie boy.
You're a loyal soldier, Huss. You're a good boy.
Both fighters really loading up with their punches here in the opening round of this light heavyweight contest.
This kid's got a good jab. He's very sharp.
Yeah, he hasn't fought for a couple of years too. And, you know, look, he looks like a light puncher, but he's, again, well skilled. Anybody from Briggs' gym is very, very well skilled.
As I said before, he's also got the category, he's also got the breeding because his uncle, Jerry Coetzee, is the former WBA heavyweight champion.
It's good to see Briggs being aggressive from the first round on.
Well, that's how he's got to be. But like I said, this kid's very skillful, sitting on the ropes and making all those punches miss.
And there's the end of round number 1 of this IBF Australasian light heavyweight title fight. Plenty of aggression from both fighters in the opening round. And there's Briggs loading up with the right hand. Aswegen there with a short uppercut on the inside. Hard to separate the fighters in the first round. Perhaps the edge just to Briggs.
Yeah,
Fans in South Africa may not agree with that.
Oh no, Briggs definitely won the first round, but there have been a lot of people bagging this fight, bagging this matchup. But this kid in the red corner with Harold Volbrekin is very, very well skilled. Might be a big puncher, but just watch and see. Paul Briggs obviously has the punching power. He's maybe one of the best punchers in the light heavyweight division. But this kid's here to fight. He's got a great trainer in his corner, and he's doing a great job. I think Briggs is trying a bit too hard for the knockout.
Maybe he is. You know, he's been caught a couple of times coming into it. We noticed it. But I think he's got to click close, stay in close, then give this guy any room to snap out his jab.
Because the kid is clever.
Yeah.
Very slick.
Well, he says he wants to be nasty in the ring this year. He said he felt he was perhaps lacked that intensity last year, and this year he wants to be as aggressive as he possibly can in 2007.
So can you just turn that switch on and off? I don't know. I think, you know, sometimes you just got to have it or you don't have it. But I'm pretty sure Paul Briggs has it.
His fights against Zamnak have been some ripper fights. Those 2 fights he had with him.
Jeez, I can hear a voice coming out of Paul Briggs' corner that used to drive me mad during fights. Peter Matreski Sr.'s back in action. Nice rip to the body there by Paul Briggs. Oh, good counter left hook too.
He also takes a good punch, Paul Briggs.
Nice straight right hand by Paul Briggs.
Very sharp, short little punches.
Yeah, listen, like I said, I know that some people have bagged this matchup, but he's a talented little fighter. Maybe a little underprepared. I don't know how late he took the fight or had he been training, but you know, he's certainly doing a good job. Usually Paul Briggs hits people with the punches in this guy with it already knocked out. Or they've tasted the canvas. Thomas Adamek tasted in the first round.
Very tight defence there on the inside too from the South African. It's frustrating Briggs a little bit.
Oh, beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful rip there from Briggs.
Just as he was hurt there going back, and he looked like he was going to crash down, he came back with a counter left hook that landed flush.
Yeah, he caught him a good, nice little left hook on the counter. That's what Briggs had to do, break him down, slow him down.
Yeah, that's what he has to do. He doesn't have to do it quick. Just take a couple of rounds, and then when he lands on those big right hands or a left hook, it just could finish it with one punch.
Good thing tonight, all even fights, they've all been very close.
There's the end of round number 2. 2 very close rounds, but 2 rounds you'd have to say Paul Briggs had the edge in.
Oh, definitely so. Paul Briggs landed with the better punches, the harder punches, and more punches. So that means the first 2 rounds are his.
Briggs keeping busy there on the inside. Aswegen with that tight defence, very hard to penetrate. I think this is the, there it is, that beautiful left rip to the body there from Briggs. But Aswegen came straight back with his own left.
Round number 3.
Lead right handed by Briggs, not left hook.
Briggs trying to maintain the intensity. Seems to be the game plan to land that left rip to the body as much as possible.
Well, that's pretty much Presley's game plan, that's for sure.
Well, isn't he the brains behind every great fighter? He was the brains behind your success,
Definitely
wasn't
so.
he?
I couldn't have done it without him, let me guarantee you that.
Briggs with 18 knockouts in his 25 victories. So he's a big puncher, Paul Briggs. Three losses, 2 of those against Adamak for the world title, and the other one occurred very, very early in his career. I believe his second professional fight. A great deal of effective action there from either fighter on the inside. Aswegen there holding on.
Right.
It's good drive hand right there. Briggs fell into it.
Yeah, because he jumped in with his jab, Hussey. He didn't just slide in, he didn't just step up with the jab, he straight in there with it.
Nice to see Briggs set up his combinations a little bit more, Jeff. He's not setting them up behind the jab.
Well, he's trying.
Falling in a little bit.
Yeah, he's trying for one big punch.
Nice shot there from Aswegen. Only partially landed, but keeping Briggs on his toes. Time ticking away here in the third. Briggs unleashing some big blows there in the neutral corner. The bell ends the third round. You'd have to say another round in the bag for Briggs, but hardly the dominating performance that I'm sure he would have predicted before the fight began.
Yeah, look, obviously he won the round, he landed with more punches. The surprising to me is he hasn't really hurt this guy. He's hit him with a lot of punches, Huss, you know.
He's taking it very well, and he's blocking it. At the end of that round, he was blocking a few punches. He's moving his shoulders.
Perhaps they'd be working on in the corner of Briggs, him setting these punches up a little bit more behind the jab, setting up the combinations rather than just rushing in and looking for that one big punch.
I think it's common in everything we do in life. You've got to build the foundation first before you put a house, before you do anything about it. I think he's trying too hard just to blow the house up without, you know, getting those foundations loose first.
Round 4.
Right. Right. Step back. Last one.
Yeah, hard ball underneath.
Briggs trying to rip hard underneath there with
Just missed that
combinations.
again, right, yeah.
Not a great deal on the South Africans' punches, but they are sharp punches and they're accurate. He's catching Briggs as he comes in. Once again there you could see him working well with the left hand. No doubt this is causing an increasing frustration for Paul Briggs. Aswegen, they're catching him once again. That left hand on the way in. Briggs just not setting anything up at this stage.
Yeah, although the South Africans hold it, it's like Paul Briggs when he misses, yeah, he's leaning on him, and he has no other option, the South African. Paul's not giving him no room. Paul's got to give himself room to continue to punch. And as he's missing with those punches, he's falling in.
Good overhand right there by Paul.
Right.
Be first then, Paul, be first. Big reach, Paul, come on.
Just a minute remaining here in the fourth. Up for grabs, the IVF Australasian light heavyweight title. Still to come, the world title eliminator, Rupert versus Nadu.
Bring it out, bring it out.
Drop the elbow.
Come on, put it together. Oh, good job, jab, Paul.
Right.
Aswegen, they're showing good hand speed.
What would you be telling him, Jeff, in the corner? Or Johnny be telling him at least? Do the same thing, or?
Well, I'm not sure what Johnny's telling him, but I'd be just telling himself, you know, just to make those first couple of punches, just get your range, and then put the big ones together. He's trying to punch too hard from the first two punches. And if he misses, like I said, the easiest thing in boxing to make a punch misses is just seeing then us. You fall in if you punch too hard and you can't do anything else after it. You eliminate your options for yourself, not just for your opponent, it's for yourself.
Round 4 in the bag. That was a closer one. That for me was the closest round of the fight so far. Interesting to know what Johnny Lewis is in fact saying in the corner. A little bit hard over all the music and dancing to hear what's going on.
Just got to keep the pressure on him, break him up. Don't get in there waiting for the referee, just keep punching underneath. Drive him back, make him go backwards, and then look for a big one, okay? Just keep going. Pressure, pressure, pressure. That's the sort of fighter you are. That's how we're going to be our best. Come on, Paul.
What did you make of what Johnny was saying in the corner there, Jeff?
Well, he wants Paul to continue to punch and put the pressure on. He's saying that's the kind of fighter you are. But he also said something good there because he said, you know, after a couple of those ones, when you're getting back, then load up for the big one. Don't load up for the big one straight away.
Were you surprised that Johnny didn't perhaps say to him, look, you need to set the combinations up a little bit more? I mean, the idea of being a pressure fighter means that he will just go bullet at him.
Well, no, don't look, I think Johnny's trying to make him, in this fight especially, just believe that he's got the fitness to do whatever he wants to do, because I believe that was the reason why he lost his last fight. So I think there's a method to the madness with what Johnny just said. It's although we're looking at something else, Johnny obviously been around Paul for so long and knowing what he wants, is trying to get something different than what we think he should be doing now. He's doing it for a different reason. I can read Johnny's mind. I know exactly what Johnny's thinking at the moment, and that's why he's just telling Paul all he wants Paul to do in this fight is to realise that if he wanted to punch for 12 rounds against Saturday, he could have punched for 12 rounds, he could have been world champion.
Oh, just becoming a little bit sloppy here at the halfway point of the 5th round. That fighter's looking fairly fatigued at the moment, particularly Aswegen. You can always tell when a fighter's got his mouth open, which is what the South African does have. Good work there from Briggs, mauling, brawling style there on the inside, causing some wear and tear on his opponent.
All right, break it up. Look.
Oh, throw the right uppercut, left hand right up and going under it. Look, there's the uppercut. Oh, 1, 2, good uppercut.
Right under there.
Don't pull hard. Hard in there, he's in there, come on. A big uppercut.
He's ripping up the middle there, trying to dig to the body. Overhand right. Continues to press the action, Paul Briggs. He's finding his opponent very awkward.
He is slowing down. His punch are slowing him down. He's starting to take effect.
Yeah, you can see the South African is looking very tight at the moment. But again, Paul's like a little bit too close for my liking. Just needs to give himself that extra 6-8 inches so he can really put something behind those punches.
And there's the end of the 5th round. I've got Briggs well and truly on top. The South African has had his moments, but he hasn't been able to dominate any of the rounds. Early on, he showed some very good boxing skills.
Jab first, the body, then the right.
If you look here back at some of the action from the previous round there, Briggs working well in close.
And maybe look, he's working well, but are the punches effective? Are they hurting his opponent? I don't look. To be honest, I've got to say no. Those body punches are being thrown, but it's nothing behind them. It's like John Dibble said, throw 4 to set yourself up for a big one to hurt him at the end of it. It's like, like you do in the gym. You bang, you put a big one together. He's just throwing 4 and 6, little punches that really aren't hurting his opponent.
Seconds down. Round number 6.
Here we go for round number 6. It's a mauling, brawling affair, this light heavyweight contest. Paul Briggs of Australia in the black trunks. Rupert Van Aswegen in the blue from South Africa. Nice jab there from the South African. Briggs continuing to come forward. Aswegen there picking him off nicely. Looks like Briggs's timing is a little bit off too tonight.
Yeah, he's got to bend his legs. He's got to sit and bring them punches from low to high.
He's not using his jab at all, Jeff, have we?
He's on his toes throwing punches, and big punches. You can't get power from just being up high on your feet and then lifting them off the ground.
This is where he needs to get his work done, Briggs. He's got his opponent backed against the ropes. He's looking fatigued. Aswegen there picking him off though as he backs away.
Well, that's because Paul's not hurting him, Matthew.
Hello, break.
Now, if those punches were hurting his opponent, if he had to cover up past, if he had to, make some attempt to think that they hurt him, he wouldn't be able to counterpunch Paul the way he was just doing that.
Yeah, give himself a bit of room and just let him go a bit.
Give himself some room and pick some shots.
It's too much tap, 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 tap.
The old tap, 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 us. Dancing with the Stars, isn't it?
You'd have to say in that little stance there that Aswegen had the better of the action. More effective punching.
Well,
Paul hasn't landed nothing major this round. It's all been, you know, little punches here and there. His work rate is high. He's trying to throw as many punches as he can, but nothing effective. Do you think maybe Jeff is aiming for later rounds just to wear him down and open up later on?
Well, we have to wait and see. The other guy's getting pretty tight at the moment. Now, like I said, there is an opportunity for Paul just to sit there, bend his legs and land a big punch. Put this guy out of there because Paul can punch.
Another round in the bag, another pretty tight round, but I guess the edge again to Briggs.
Yeah, well, you can't give the other guy the round. And Paul obviously, like I said, threw twice as many punches. Maybe, you know, landed evenly, but like he's the aggressor, he's throwing more punches, and you've got to give the round to Paul Briggs.
This news update brought to you by Dodge, Chrysler and Jeep.
Hello everyone, this is a Fox Sports News Update. I'm David Murdoch.
And I'm Luke Elby, and these are just some of the stories we'll be covering tonight. 4 AFL coaches slapped with fines for criticising umpires.
Yep, round 9 of the NRL kicks off with players looking to press for State of Origin selection.
To tour or not to tour, the federal government and Cricket Australia still to decide on Zimbabwe.
Disgraced cyclist Floyd Landis drops a bombshell on his hearing into alleged drug use.
Yeah, that's a big one, plus plenty more, including golf, tennis and football.
Should be a great night. That's all on Channel 5 on 3.
Check us out.
Fox Sports News, Channel 513. It's on all the time.
This Mother's Day, are you going to buy Mum flowers that might make it to the end of the week? Or for around the same price, pick out something that'll last all year. A subscription to her favourite magazine from iSubscribe. With over 2,000 magazines to choose from, you can turn Mother's Day into Mother's Year. iSubscribe.com.au, Australia's magazine superstore.
Right, Money, we're off. We'll see you at the party.
Yeah, no worries, fellas.
Bye.
I'll see you there.
Clever, fellas. Very clever.
I like a bloke who's man enough to wear pink. Come meet my friends.
Sure. Cheers for the fashion tip, fellas.
Classic.
194 888 for your Monty Python ringtones. Text M1 for Sit On My Face. M2 for Lumberjack Song. M3 for Spam Song. Text your choice to 194 888 now.
Get mobile active.
This weekend, it's a feast of finals on Fox Sports. Super 14 semi-finals time. The top 4 will need to be on top form when they make their bid for Southern Hemisphere supremacy. Tennis, with Roland Garros in sight. Who will conquer Rome? Semi-final Saturday and the final on Sunday. Live. Football, last round from the Premier League and Championship playoffs. Who will be promoted? That is brilliant! Class Players Championship Golf. This weekend, Fox Sports.
Here once again, we're looking at some of the action from round 6. Just not a great deal on those punches there from Briggs.
They're landing and getting points, but they're ineffective, Matthew. They're not hurting him. For somebody to be able to punch out of it the way he just punched with a combination of punches means those punches didn't affect him. Had they hurt him, he might have been able to come back with 1 and got out of there. But no, he came back with 4 or 6, so the body shots aren't hurting him. And that's not going to slow him down either.
Here we go for the 7th. It's Briggs versus Van Aswegen. Aswegen from South Africa in the blue trunks. Briggs, the 31-year-old, 2-time world title challenger. Wants 2007 to be his year. He's finding it pretty tough going here against the South African.
Stop!
load up there with the right hand. A little bit of a mouse forming over the left eye of Paul Briggs. It's just been a methodical fight.
If you're going to get any power from an uppercut, you've got to bend your legs, you've got to push from low to high. He's just standing there and, you know, throwing every punch on the same position. His body's not moving, he's not transferring any power from his feet, you know, transferring weight from left to right. It's just all arm punches.
Quite messy here in the 7th. Both fighters obviously heavily fatigued. Aswegen looks to have been fatigued for the last couple of rounds, but he's still there and he's still exchanging with Briggs.
And you've got to realise why. You've got to ask yourself the question, why is he still there? And the question is, or the answer is because Paul's just not hurting him. Believe me, this guy's tired. If you hurt him enough, he'd want out of there. But these punches aren't like hurting him enough to say, listen, I'm going to put the white flag up and sit down, Huss. He can just cope with this.
Taking him, yeah.
There's the conclusion of round 7. Don't forget, we still have our main bout to come. It should be a ripper, titled Bad Blood. It's the IBF World Title Eliminator in the light welterweight division, with Love More to Do taking on Ben Rabar. Nadu, 44 fights, 8 losses, 29 KOs. Rabar, 24 wins, 2 losses for 13 knockouts.
Well, let's get out of here this round.
I wonder how those boys in the dressing room are feeling. It's been a long afternoon, no knockouts.
You've got to create.
You know, they might be asleep.
It does take drags on, doesn't it, inside?
Unbelievable. What's the time
12 o'clock now? 5 o'clock. 5-hour fight.
Unbelievable.
Seconds down.
Come on.
Well, believe it or not, here we are for round 8.
Paul's jumping in instead of just having his feet sliding up so he has balance so he can punch if he needs to. See them jumps, those lunges.
Just wants to find the inside. I don't think he wants to step out and give himself room to punch.
All right, break it up.
I think he's just trying to put pressure and just keep punching, keep punching.
Oh, nice punch there from Aswegen. Caught the attention of Briggs as he lunged in.
Oh, what's that punch?
Outside punch, I don't know, what do you call it?
I don't know what you call it. I've never seen it before. I mean, it's a punch, but can that hurt you? No, it can't. Why throw it? Punching around the corner.
He's jumping in for his jab, he's cramping himself up once again.
Yeah, he's just eliminating the room factor for himself. He's got to touch first and then put some big ones together. Find out where he is before he tries to hit his opponent hard.
Well, there hasn't really been any plan B, has there? It's been the same basically since the opening round, which is a surprise considering, I mean, Paul Briggs is an intelligent guy. He's got a very good trainer in his corner. It is surprising that there hasn't been any change in the plan.
It's a good right hand again. That's where dangerous where you walk under a punch. There again.
Another right hand.
someone is boxing, you try and jump in, trying to cut the ring off, you can walk onto a punch.
Well, he's following him around the ring house. He hasn't cut the ring off. He hasn't come from angles.
Righto, break.
Maybe we need to give the South African too some credit for the way that he has fought. He's frustrated Briggs. From very early on, you got the sense that Briggs was frustrated.
Yeah, bring it up, Rupert. Bring it up and you put his head down, Paul. Come on.
You're following him, mate.
Well, Johnny Lewis, just shield it out. You're following him, mate.
Let's get frustrated in the corner when you see something which you can do and he's not doing it.
Break.
And there's the end of yet another round in this IBF Australasian light heavyweight title. Paul Briggs versus Rupert Van Aswegen. It's been pretty much the same since round number one. Briggs following Aswegen around, trapping him along the ropes, but then just not effective punching. There's that nice short right hand there from the South African that found a home on the face of Paul Briggs.
Any OT for this overtime, mate, Matthew? Oh, mate, I thought I'd be here for a couple of hours.
You do it for love alone, wouldn't you, Jeff?
That's correct, Matthew. Anything to sit here with you, mate. Always a pleasure, mate. Can you get me a job at Sky Channel?
Of course. I thought you already had one there.
Oh, if I had one, what happened to me? Was out with the old and with the new. You've taken me job, me mate.
Have I? Not the pay packet. Here we go, round 9.
Well, what you do with
Briggs
that
in the black, Aswegen in the blue.
Well, what's happening to the pay packet? I haven't got it.
Call the fights, Jeff. Maybe that's why you're no longer with us.
Can you believe he talks to me like that, Huss?
All those years, mate, he wants to make a comeback now.
Yeah, lucky he can fight. Big uppercut there. He's getting confident. As tired as he looks, he's thinking, oh, I'm hitting this guy.
He's boxing much better. He's on his feet. He's trying to counter Paul Briggs much more easier than before.
Well, he's picking Briggs off, isn't he? As he comes in, he's just picking him off.
We've got to give these South Africans credit. Every one of them have been fit. Every one of them have been pretty well skilled. And, you know, and look, I've got to go back to the corner and say, he's a great trainer.
Right.
Briggs continuing just to look for that one big punch, isn't he? Even though here we are, round number 9. Hasn't really been able to set anything up. There's been no sustained assault from Paul Briggs.
You probably usually see Paul Briggs loading up his punches, you know, every now and then he'll throw a big right hand or a big left hook. But not this fight.
Oh, nice overhand right. Slipped back the South African and brought him onto the right hand.
Even there, not a great deal of effective punching there from Briggs. Most of those punches taken on the arm. Clock winding down here for round number 9.
This has been South African's best round. He's really boxed 4.
I agree with you, Hassan. It's his best round by far.
With only run where he didn't get hit much. He didn't sit on the ropes.
may have joined us late, all the fights tonight have gone the distance. There's Briggs swallowing some punches in the previous round. Rob Medley went the distance against the South African Kaiser Nabuza. Sakio Bika went the distance against Andre Dicey. And Danny Gill went the distance against the Kiwi, Lee Ottey. And here we are, getting set for round number 10 of this IBF Australasian light heavyweight title fight.
Take it to the 10th and final round.
Paul Briggs versus Rupert Van Aswegen.
Last round. Again, just overstepping the mark with the first jab, Haas, putting himself off.
Just got to be careful as he land those right hands over his jab when he falls in.
Well, just to clarify something, there has been some confusion over the length of this fight. It is in fact 12 rounds. Perhaps some of us might be wishing it was just 10, but it is in fact 12 rounds.
Well, the referee made them shake hands.
Yeah, there was confusion before the day about how long this fight would be. Briggs swallowing a right hand.
Great right hand. Look, hurt.
Paul Briggs is hurt.
South African corner realised that.
Paul Briggs is yelling.
I think Paul Briggs is very fatigued.
Stop!
And the South African has started to come into his own in the last couple of rounds. He's been picking Briggs off.
Well, the round before this, he got up on his toes and he had a good round. He was scoring. Now Paul Briggs has just landed.
Well, this is what Paul Briggs is made of. He does have an enormous amount of heart. And with his back against the wall here in the 10th, he's pulling out all stops.
Right.
It would be a nightmare scenario for him if he was to lose this fight.
Right. Hey, let's listen. Cut it out. Oh, come on. You're finishing. Right.
Oh, good shot there from Aswegen on the inside.
Oh, great shot there by Paul, right in the middle.
Briggs coming on here late in round number 10. Only a minute earlier, he himself looked to be in all sorts of bother. But now he has the South African fighting with a touch of desperation.
Let's hope the fighters know it's a 12 round, they're not a 10.
Yeah, they could. After shaking hands, they might think the fight's over.
There is 10 rounds on 2 rounds still.
There you go.
Paul Briggs thinks it's over.
Well, everybody's confused. Well, that was an intriguing round there, round number 10. Both fighters seem to be in trouble.
That's for sure. And Paul Briggs was definitely hurt a little, I think, there for a second there. I'm not sure what punch it was. Oh, there was a left hook and then the overhand right. And then he came back like a true champion with that big right hand left hook.
Well, you'd have to say Briggs is ahead, but he's not really a long way ahead at this stage. And it depends on how you see the fight.
Well, the way I see it is that you score each round, but you don't think he hasn't lost one, so...
You don't think he's lost a single round?
He may have lost a round. What do you think, Huss?
Yeah, maybe 1 or 2, yeah. It was the round that he boxed.
1 or 2, Huss?
Oh.
3.
You go back and wind with it.
Here we go, round 11. This should be interesting.
Listen, I'm sure Harold Volbrick has told his boy, listen, you had him hurt in that round, come out and sit on your punches and throw some big some bombs. I'm not sure he's got a bomb, husband, but, you know, I'm saying, you know.
Let's hope he hasn't.
Yeah, definitely so.
Briggs trying to unload here along the ropes. Aswegen doing his best to smother the Briggs assault. And Aswegen looking very fatigued here in the 11th. The left rip to the body from Briggs, who seems to have found a new lease of life since he was stunned in the previous round.
It's a good right hand there.
Just a little bit of news coming in from overseas. Adamek has just lost his world title. Adamek lost to Dawson, yes.
Oh,
yeah.
that's surprising.
Dawson beat Adamek for the world title.
Oh.
This has been a grueling affair, this light heavyweight contest.
Well, if Paul wanted the workout and a hard fight, he sure has got one.
All right, break.
That's a good right hand.
Beautiful work there from Briggs. The overhand right. And Aswegen covering up for dear life here late in the 11th round. Feel now Briggs is just about one punch away from stopping this fight. You would think there's another right hand, more of a push.
Right. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Straight on him. 10 seconds.
What courage this South African has shown. He swallowed some big punches there in round 11.
Well, it's his first fight in 2 years. It's a great performance.
Don't blow it. You fight this straight. Don't blow it.
Breathing quite heavily as we look into his corner.
Come on, Paul, we've gone so far. Paul, if you stay in front of him doing nothing, he's going to get it. Paul, if we keep on working, we win the fight. We'll knock him out. Hey, Paul, mate, don't stop.
Another example there, that short left hand there from Briggs, snapping back the head of the South African. He's just about a spent force, I think, the African fighter. Briggs bouncing on his toes. He's keen for round 12.
Briggs will go for the knockout. Oh, big right hand to start the fight.
Right. Walk straight onto it.
What about the heart of this South African? Back on his toes, he looked a beaten man sitting in his corner.
Right.
Siren is here somewhere.
The siren's just signal full time. Is there a game on across the road?
We're well and truly into overtime at this stage. Briggs hasn't been able to sustain the attack that he had in the previous round here in the 12th.
His legs bent in, Hussey jabbed and come up with the uppercut.
Just cramping himself all the time, not giving himself room to punch.
Not a bad name to have on your resume, going maybe 12 rounds with Paul Briggs.
That's right. Well, when you look at his career, he's had just 12 wins, 4 losses, 7 KOs. And he was coming off a loss. He was coming off a 6-round loss.
He's gone from 6 rounds to 12 rounds in 1 fight in 2 years. Remarkable performance. That's swabby, Matthew. Remarkable performance.
Well, as Hussey said, though, Paul Briggs wanted a good workout. He's definitely got that tonight against this South African. Perhaps would have liked to have scored a knockout.
Without doubt, they would have wanted a
Just
knockout.
40 seconds remaining. It's highly unlikely that that will happen.
That was a better left foot. Bent his legs and put something behind that one.
You got to give credit to South African. He's more cagey. He's very skillful. Made it harder for Paul. You only fight as good as your opponent lets you fight as well.
That's spot on there, Huss. Right.
And there's the end of the bout. Both fighters showing enormous courage throughout the 12 rounds of this fight.
Paul's shaking his head there. I don't know.
He's not happy at all. He can't be happy.
Yeah.
He can't be happy with that performance.
Ladies and gentlemen, as Brian McMahon brings our 2 fighters into centre ring, as we now have our judge's decision on the bout. Judge Seth Perkins sees about 119 to 110. Judge Gary Dean sees it 120 to 110. And Trevor Christian scores it 117 to 112. Your winner by unanimous decision from the blue corner, the IBF Australasian light heavyweight champion, Paul Briggs.
Well, not a smile there from Paul Briggs, even though he had his arm raised in victory.
It seemed like a pretty frustrating night for Paul. He's trying to do something, and I don't think it all worked, but let's listen to what he's got to say.
Paul, congratulations, a great fight, a tougher fight, probably a bit tougher than we expected tonight.
No, the South Africans are always tough, but the only thing to congratulate me on tonight is the win. It's probably the worst performance of my life, but in saying that, we really need to just to get back in the ring and get a start. And I just want to thank Angelo Hyder for putting me on. I want to thank South Africans for jumping in. It was a big task for the young lad, and he jumped in and gave me all I could handle.
The very near future could very well be busy with you. There's talk of a Danny Green fight.
Yeah, I'm up for anything. I really just got to regroup and just pull everything back in. After the last loss from Adamak, I had an injury before this fight which hindered my preparation, and we really needed just to take this fight from my head, and that's what we did. So it's all about just staying busy this year. I can't have one fight a year and fight the likes of the Thomas Adamaks of the world and hope to do well. So I've really got to get in and get as much work like this under my belt as I can, but do it to the best of my ability, not sort of half-cast like tonight.
Well, speaking of Adam, I understand he's just lost his world title. He's beaten you on 2 occasions before. Where is this going to lead to, do you think, at this point?
I was always chasing the IBF route with Clinton Woods now. First and foremost, I need to get back in the gym and regroup with Johnny after the Adamak loss. It really did knock me for a 6, and I've got to get back in there and climb that mountain, of just getting back in and fighting at that level again rather than, beating those guys. So first and foremost, I just need to get back to my best form.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big thank you to Paul Briggs. And Paul